HOF RB Eric Dickerson exposes NFL's true colors and sheds light on Shedeur Sanders' draft fall. A league power play or just business as usual? What happens when the league that prides itself on being the pinnacle of competitive fairness is accused of stacking the deck against one of its brightest young stars? That's the uncomfortable question now hanging over the National Football League after Hall of Fame running back Eric Dickerson dropped a bombshell revelation that has left fans, analysts, and even insiders questioning the motives behind the 2025 NFL Draft. Eric Dickerson, the legendary Los Angeles Rams running back who once redefined his position and set a single-season rushing record that still stands decades later, appeared on the Rogan and Rodney show. In his typical blunt and unapologetic fashion, he did not mince words. He claimed, with certainty and citing what he called an excellent source, that the NFL office had directly instructed teams during the draft process. Do not draft him. We're going to make an example out of him. The him in question? Shedeur Sanders, the electrifying Colorado quarterback, son of NFL Hall of Famer and Colorado head coach Deion "Primetime" Sanders. The shock of draft night. For months leading up to the 2025 draft, Shedeur Sanders was discussed as one of the most intriguing quarterback prospects. His resume spoke for itself: over 4,134 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, a 74% completion rate, and the prestigious Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Analysts pegged him as a potential late first or early second round selection. His talent, leadership, and production screamed franchise quarterback material. And yet, on draft night, the unthinkable happened. Pick after pick, Sanders' name wasn't called. Quarterbacks with weaker resumes went ahead of him. Teams that had glaring QB needs passed him by. Mock drafts shredded live on television as stunned commentators searched for answers. By the time Sanders was finally taken by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round, the story had already shifted from celebration to mystery. How could a player of his caliber fall that far? Now, Dickerson's comments provide a chilling answer. According to him, Sanders' slide wasn't an accident. It was orchestrated. A calculated power move. Dickerson claimed that the NFL office wasn't merely indifferent to Sanders' fall. They wanted it to happen. That's exactly what was going to happen, Dickerson said. The league wanted him to go undrafted. They wanted to make an example out of him. The alleged reasoning remains murky. Was it Sanders' outspoken father? Was it Shedeur's own growing influence as a brand-conscious athlete in the NIL name, image, likeness era? Was it the NFL's discomfort with a young player who had already built celebrity status before even stepping onto a professional field? Whatever the motive, Dickerson suggested the league's plan only shifted when the optics became too glaring to ignore. The draft was heading toward an unprecedented embarrassment. A record-breaking college quarterback going entirely undrafted, that insiders feared would raise too many questions. So, per Dickerson, someone within the NFL allegedly called the Browns with a directive. Don't do that. Draft him. Cleveland complied, taking Sanders in the 5th round. Echoes of NFL history. To longtime NFL followers, the saga recalls some of the league's most infamous standoffs. John Elway, refusing to play for the Baltimore Colts and forcing his way to Denver. Bo Jackson, spurning Tampa Bay and opting for baseball before becoming a two-sport phenomenon. Even Eli Manning orchestrating his move from San Diego to New York. But there is a key difference. Those were players flexing their leverage against the league's machinery. Shedeur Sanders' case, if Dickerson's claims are true, flips the script entirely. Here, it is the league itself exerting power over a single player, attempting to diminish his value not because of his play, but because of what he represented. The immediate payback. Irony has a way of writing its own poetry in sports. Just days after being branded as a potential league pariah, Sanders stepped onto an NFL field for the first time in a preseason matchup against the Carolina Panthers. The result? A commanding performance that silenced doubters and forced the conversation back to where it belonged, on his game. Sanders completed 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading the Browns to a decisive 30-10 victory. His composure in the pocket, accuracy on timing routes, and ability to read the defense looked nothing like that of a fifth-round rookie. It looked like a quarterback who belonged. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. The same analysts who had questioned his draft slide began praising his poise. The headlines that once read "Draft Mystery" now said "Preseason Breakout." The resilient rookie. Perhaps the most impressive part of Sanders' early NFL journey isn't even the stat sheet. It's his mindset. Despite the whispers, the rumors, and the weight of expectations, he has displayed a maturity beyond his years. He's adopted a personal rule. Give himself just 12 hours to be happy about any success before moving on. Wins are celebrated, but briefly. Praise is acknowledged, then shelved. His eyes remain on the grind. I really don't look at the backup spot. I don't care. Whenever it's time for me to get out there and play, I'm gonna play, Sanders said. I'm not concerned about when it is. I know when the lights come on, when everything is going on, when the pressure is on, you know who I am. This attitude has resonated inside the Browns locker room. Veteran quarterback Joe Flacco, a Super Bowl champion, noted that Sanders' positivity brought a refreshing energy to training camp. Backup Tyler Huntley took Sanders under his wing, staying late after practice to help him master the playbook. Sanders himself has expressed gratitude for those relationships. The fact that Huntley is here, I feel like God sent him here for a reason, Sanders admitted. The NFL's true colors. Eric Dickerson's revelation isn't just about one player, it's about the NFL's culture of control. The league has always walked a fine line between entertainment and competition, between protecting its brand and letting individuality shine. But if Dickerson is right, this case suggests a darker truth, that sometimes the NFL will prioritize its image over fairness. By allegedly trying to make an example of Shedeur Sanders, the league may have only revealed its insecurities. Instead of dimming his light, the attempt has only given Sanders more reason to shine. Fans love an underdog story. And now, Sanders isn't just a rookie quarterback. He's a symbol of defiance against the machine. From target to torchbearer, what began as a draft night humiliation has turned into a powerful origin story. Sanders' fall is no longer seen as a mark against him. It's evidence of his resilience. He has gone from the quarterback they didn't want to the quarterback fans are rooting for. I know my time, whenever that is, I'll be ready for it, Sanders said. All I look at is that I'm getting more time to cook. The phrase captures the essence of his approach. He isn't bitter. He isn't desperate. He's patient, preparing, waiting for the moment when his opportunity arrives. And when it does, he intends to be unstoppable. The bigger picture. Eric Dickerson may not have intended to start a firestorm, but his words have forced the NFL to face uncomfortable scrutiny. If a Hall of Famer with inside connections says the league tried to sabotage a player's career before it even began, fans have every right to demand answers. Transparency has never been the NFL's strong suit. But here's the poetic twist. By trying to control the narrative, the league may have accidentally created its next great storyline. Shedeur Sanders' journey is no longer just about football. It's about resistance, perseverance, and the refusal to let others define your worth. Conclusion. The first act is over. The NFL may have written the first act of this saga. The dramatic fall, the whispers of sabotage, the humiliation of a draft slide. But Shedeur Sanders is now writing the rest. And if his preseason debut is any indication, the story is only beginning. The league tried to make an example out of him. Instead, he may become the example of why you can never truly suppress talent, heart, and resilience. Eric Dickerson exposed the NFL's true colors. Shedeur Sanders is showing the world his own.